Right, let's dip our toes into the rural real estate waters and, who else better to join us? Our man on the ground, the GM of Rural Property Brokers, Conrad Wilkshire. Good morning, Conrad.
Morning, Hamish.
How's things down there in the, you could be in any part of the country, really, because you are a bit of a travelling man, but I assume the Manawatu.
Yeah, mighty man too. It's actually looking very green here, very favourable autumn, though March has been drier than February, interesting enough, but nowhere near as dry as what is up in the Waikato and what have you. So we've had it's been pretty favourable here in the mighty Manawatu.
Yeah, okay. Right, you got your upcoming Autumn Rural Outlook publication. What are the insights we're likely to glean from that?
Well, we've got about 60 pages coming forward there, and we have listings literally from the far north of Kaitaia, I might add, right down to the deep south. So a good range of horticulture, dairy, and some really interesting quality lifestyle listings in there too. So no, the team have had a really busy program this new year, and it's been getting the listings forward for the outlook this autumn. It's certainly been a real challenge because we keep selling them, Hamish.
You keep turning them over, and I mean, obviously we'll look at the data in a bit more depth in a moment, but generally the trend is still pretty strong.
Really strong. We just did a bit of a tally up, the Paetu and Dannevirke offices, and since before Christmas we've done over 85 million out of those two offices, and it's we had a wonderful auction there the other Friday, and that was that sold really well at about 46,000 hectare for finishing farmland there just out at Oringi. So we have had a really strong season, no question, and the market has, I should add too, and it's a reflection of a lot of things.
Right. Okay, well, knock me over with a feather, Dom George. 46,000 a hectare. Whoa.
Not bad, is it?
And that wasn't
bad. Yeah.
That wasn't a dairy farm.
Yeah,
It's beef property.
Yeah. Dom, over to you. You got a couple of searching, probing questions, as you always do.
Absolutely. Well, look, Conrad, a couple of things. Now, Conrad. Changes to the ETS. I wanted to bring up that with you because from a real estate point of view, that's always interesting. And we've spoken about this over the pretty much the last 6 to 8 months about this continuing, ongoing issue. What do you reckon around this space?
Well, look, as you know, and we've said before on the show, it's too good to be true. It probably won't last that long, and it would appear that prediction is starting to ring true. There's been Stuart Nash and his officials have communicated some important regulatory changes are afoot, and these announcements are essentially targeting the prevention of exotic forests from being registered in the ETS as permanent forests next year. So quite different from production forestry, but the notion of large-scale Pinus radiata being planted as a permanent forest, that is certainly under the microscope right now. And obviously there's still considerable consultation to be worked through, not least the definition of what is exotic. So we wouldn't really want to see things like poplar planting and land stabilisation and a lot of the environmental work that's going on excluded from the ETS, particularly if it's qualifying and it's sequestering carbon. So there'll be a bit of work there, but overall I think rural communities will welcome this, and it certainly is, I tell you, regardless of any consultation that's had an immediate impact on the market, those carbon buyers have stepped right back.
And also, Conrad, the other thing that's interesting is I note that you told us just before we came on air that you've been perusing the February data, and there's some interesting things that you've uncovered. Yeah,
look, we tracked the 200 hectare plus hill country market. I mean, largely we've been monitoring this carbon impact, particularly in the last 12 months. And as of February, the median price for 200 hectare plus hill country farms is 10,900 a hectare. Now that's the Rhines data as of February. Now so round figures 11,000 a hectare. That's up from 8,300 a hectare in 2021. So that's in excess of a 30% increase year on year. Now, so give that a context. You've got to go back to 2009. Where it was 8,000 a hectare. It dropped after the GSC, and it took a decade to track back up to 8,000 a hectare, and so we've lifted from 8,000 to 300 to 11,000 a hectare in the space of 12 months. Wow. There's no precedent for that level of lift. So there's no question there's been a lot of speculation in the hill country, though I would say, when I look at the farmers, and we had a wonderful sale there in Tamanui not so long ago, and it was a large-scale 1,000-hectare plus property, and there were the buyers there were farmers, and ultimately it sold to a farming family. And so we are definitely seeing farmers operate at that 10,000 a hectare level and more. But what I would say, this is for hill country, it's I think on a much firmer footing without some of the hype and some of the speculation for the 22.
Yeah, really interesting. So, and bearing that in mind, then, when we just finally, Conrad, when we look to the autumn season, what can we expect, do you reckon, from your point of view, in terms of those pricing points?
Well, our view is that those pricing points will firm and maybe level off, and depending on how extensive the hill country is, may moderate. But the quality hill country with that can finish stock. Yeah. Or bring a lot of stock forward, I think you're going to find them still being well favoured by the market with good support levels at current levels. That's our view. And dairy, I might add, our forward view on dairy is still positive. We've seen equally a significant appreciation in dairy prices, and so we're at 40,000 a hectare now, median price. And again, you're really going back to 2009 to see those levels. There was a short period, 2014. But you're really going back a decade on dairy too. And our view on dairy this autumn and spring is we still see value in dairy. And I do think as the sector retires debt and the current pricing, the forward pricing for milk, it's hard to see how there isn't still more valuation left in the dairy because of the quality of the returns and the stability of the returns it's enjoyed. Lots made of that 15-16 period, but our dairy sector's absorbed all kinds of shocks, economic shocks, this last decade, and it's bounced incredibly well through the commodity cycle with very, very little impaired debt, very, very few poor sales. So you'd have to say our dairy business is in good heart.
Yep, great stuff. Conrad, good to chat. I've got to say you've left me feeling I've got this sort of, is it butterflies in my stomach or something's reminding me of driving out the back of Clairvaux Farm, Apathy, and CT Mackay's ordered all these poplar poles. They felt like thousands, but he wasn't going to have anything to do with putting them in. It's one of those memories that you get a lot of pleasant memories of time on the land and summers home from school and university, but that wasn't one of them. The whole poplar pole planting. Oh, hell.
I don't miss banging a few of those in either, but they've done a hell of a lot with the research for poplars these days, and they can actually play a real valuable role. Yeah, at a range of levels, ETS and land stabilisation. So more of them, I'd say.
Absolutely. Magnificent. Always great to chat. That is Conrad Wilkshire, Property Brokers GM Rural. Stand by for their Autumn Rural Outlook publication. Basically, Kaitaia to the Bluff and right across the country. The great team at Property Brokers and things, Dom, still going very strongly there for Conrad and the team, and the outlook strong. 10,900 a hectare for 200 plus hectare hill country that's got a bit of life in it.
Yeah, that's right. Look, they're good numbers, and as you said, he said there. And look, here's the thing: his commentary around the industry is fantastic. I always enjoy it because you always get an insight and the story behind the numbers. You get the numbers out, you look at them, but you need to put them into context. What does it mean? And that historic one where he was talking about there, that the rise there and those prices for that hill country, unprecedented. It's just certainly in recent times anyway, that increase year on year. But
also before the GFC, I didn't realise prices had got to where they, you
that's the other thing.
Quickly, things were very strong back then, eh?
Yeah.
Oh dear, the old swings and roundabouts, eh? Interesting times. Great to chat, as always, to Conrad Wilkshire, Property Brokers, GM Rural. And, I'm just about getting over the thought of those poplars, Dom. Next up...